Thanks for coming on, Marvell. So today we're going to talk about the phrase "I don't have time." So you
Yeah,
said you had some strong opinions on that, so go for it.
I believe that when someone says, like blatantly says, I don't have time, that's rude. Now, it's true, we might not have time for everything. We probably can't overextend ourselves because that's not right. Because in a sense, we are breaking ourselves down. We're making ourselves unhealthy. We spread ourselves thin. But to say, I don't have time, blatantly, it's either ignoring annoying to me or it's just completely rude. There's different ways that you can say, I don't have time. Let me get back to you on that. Or, uh, and this is the gray area. Let me check my calendar. Let me check my schedule. Even though we have to do that, I feel like there's a different way you can say that instead of saying, let me check my calendar, stuff like that. Let me get back to you. But I know people who do the same thing. My typical thing is, let me get back to you.
So
And then
why is that better?
because you're being honest, let me get back to you. And I know what you're about to say. When people say, hey, I don't have time, that's being honest too. But it just feels so rude to say
You don't know
that
what I'm about
phrase.
to say.
No, I mean, no. I'm looking at your facial feature. But it just feels so rude to say, I don't have time. So for me to say, oh, okay, let me get back to you. And then I actually get back to them. Now, see, some people say I don't have time. And then instead of saying I don't have time, they say, let me get back to you and then never get back to you. That in itself is rude.
That's
Well,
also rude.
I say, let me get back to you. And I get back to them and I say either yes, I can do this or no, not at this time. So to just come out and say, I don't have time, that is just rude. I just had to get that off my chest. James, that you just hit a sweet spot, hit a sweet
Okay,
spot. So yeah.
I would add to that because I agree with what you said. Um, I would add that it's not only rude, I think that it's dishonest. I think that saying I don't have time is never accurate. Now, here's what I mean by that. Um, we all have 24 hours in a day. So we all have time. We have the exact same amount
Some
of
sort.
time, as a matter of fact. Um, Now, to say I don't have time, I think the implication is I don't have free time. Well, guess what? Anything can be free time. You just got to cancel something else. So, the phrase I don't have time is not the right phrase. I don't want to do this for you. I am not willing to spend time doing this. I am not, but it's a matter of volition. It's not a matter of not having the time. We all have time. It's just we have other things that are more important. We have other things that we want to prioritize. The honest thing to say is, no, that's not important enough to me. I know that that sounds really. Am I back? I can see you.
Go ahead.
Okay, great, you're back. Um, did you miss anything? Did I cut out?
Yeah, speak the last part that you were saying.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it would be honest to say I am not willing to do that, or I that is not as high a priority as all these other things that I have to do, or I would rather spend my time in doing uh, using my own personal time than doing what you've just asked me to do. Any one of those things would be honest. Now I know that actually saying that can be very rude. So trying to figure out how to say that without being rude is kind of the challenge. But the phrase "I don't have time" is never really accurate. It's just, I mean, we all, even if your time was totally booked up, you could make time for anything that's important enough. You can make time for. You can take something off your calendar and add that right in, or whatever. So it's never true, and we usually sleep at some point, so you could take away time from sleep to do it. I mean, we all technically have the time. It's just not always something that we prioritize. I tend to prioritize sleep over doing certain tasks for some people, and I think that that's a totally fair prioritization, and I think other people would think that too. It's just no one's willing to actually say what they mean. And what they mean is, I'm not willing to prioritize that for you. But if you say something like, let me get back to you, that gives you time to actually honestly look at your calendar and see if there's a way to fit it in and to prioritize it in such a way. Or you can reply with, I'm sorry, I've just got other things on my table that are more important, and I'm not going to do this for you. I'm not going to do this versus I'm not able to do this, because I'm not able is just not honest. And I know that I'm not able sounds like the more it's the easier one to say because it kind of lets you off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
But the more honest one, in my opinion, is I'm not going to do this for you.
And I feel like people will respect it when you say, hey, let me get back to you. And you do actually go back. Whether or not you look at your calendar or not, hey, that's up to you. But people respect it. Okay, hey, she or he is
Actually
actually
looking,
taking the
yeah,
time, actually taking the extra step to actually look. If she's busy, hey, she looked at the calendar and said she was busy. Don't die over there.
we're good.
Or maybe he or she did look at the calendar and did in the beginning thought that they had no time. But hey, listen, I actually do have time. And then you
Right.
come back and say, I can definitely do this. So yeah, I
Do you agree with me that it's better to say, um, to be just straight with someone and to say that I'm not willing to do this than to say I don't have time?
agree. This is gonna
Maybe
sound
after you've reviewed your calendar, after you've looked.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, after you review, after you look, because even for big or small decisions, I kind of say, let me get back, unless I'm absolutely positively sure, yes, I can do it.
Right.
And I said, oh yeah, I can do that, definitely. But I know my calendar is free and things like that. But if I know it's not, I'll say, hey, let me get back to you. But to answer your question, I feel like it depends, to be quite honest with you. I try to be careful with my words and things of that sort. I try to think about what the other person might be thinking or feeling because, hey, I'm trying to think how would I feel in that situation. So yeah.
I think a lot of people aren't necessarily, their intention is not to be honest. What their goal is, and not trying to be dishonest, but their goal is to weed out the people that don't have big things. Their reflex is I don't have time, because that'll weed out the people that aren't willing to push. But the people that are willing to push, they'll make it past the I don't have time initial statement. I think that that's pretty common, and I think that that's perhaps, while I value honesty more than that technique, I can understand why someone would use that technique. Okay, thanks so much for coming on, Marvell. I really appreciate you being honest and having this discussion with me.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for having me. I do it again. Just let me know.
Thanks so much.